NFTs are more than just JPEG pictures. They're not just something you can screenshot, they hold utility. And in this video today, I'm going to be showing you 3 of the best NFT projects that hold the best utility. And the best utility is giving you passive income at every opportunity. Now, we're going to begin with some different type of projects that you've probably not heard of before, or you may have heard of them. And I'm going to explain why these are brilliant, because just holding these projects every month will give you an extra bit of income. Now, the first one is sports robots. Now, the reason why I'm talking about sports robots, obviously this NFT is already out, but the reason why I'm actually talking about it is because the utility for passive income is coming out at the end of April. Now, currently, at the date of recording this, it's the 25th of April. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be showing how sports robots are going to be great before the actual passive income utility is coming, because once this comes, it's going to bump up the price to a different level, and a lot of you won't be able to buy in. So if you have the opportunity to buy in right now, I really suggest to do so. At the moment, they are only 0.344 for the cheapest one on this is the floor price on OpenSea. Most of them are going for 0.4. You know, these are the rare ones. This one's gone for 0.6. But Rollbit actually have their own marketplace as well. So most of the NFTs get sold on there. Most of the sports robots and the robots as well. But if you're a bit confused on what sports robots actually do and what is the passive income utility, I'm going to break it down really quickly, because the first one that would come out, which was Rollbots, which is for Rollbit's basically Rollbit is a crypto casino and also a crypto sportsbook as well. Rollbot version 1 was robots that will basically give you passive income from everything that's been spent on the casino side. Now, the sportsbook side is basically you get a percentage of every single bet that's basically happening within the sportsbook. Now, not only do you get a percentage of everything the sportsbook makes, you also get up to $1,000 in free bets every month, which is amazing. So obviously the rarest sports robots unlock the best free bets. So if you got the rarest one, then you get $1,000 every month, which is amazing. You can get increased multipliers on your parlay bets. So this is again another opportunity to just really increase the amount of money that you're making. Because obviously, if you are just using Rollbit for the sportsbook and the casino, then you can take as much advantage of that as possible with the sportsbook itself. But it's not just about the betting, because even if you're not into betting, even if you're not into crypto casinos, even if you're not into anything like that, you actually get profit sharing. Now, I'm going to explain the profit sharing method that's going to be coming out just in a couple of days, actually, and why I'm so excited. Now, I am a sports robot holder as well, so I can't wait for this profit sharing to come in. It's been backdated from when the sportsbook first came out, so I'm really excited to see how much we'll be making. So yeah, you get 10% of all sports paid out between 10,000 people. So 10% of what the sportsbook makes every single month goes into a little pot, and then it's split between the 10,000 people. Now, you can imagine that might not be a massive amount of money, depending on how popular sportsbook is that month, but it's still a bit of change every single month, and you know what I mean. And it's probably will give you the value back in the NFT just by holding it. I paid, I believe, 0.3 originally for it. So even though I'm holding the value of the NFT, I'm actually making the money back from just holding it, and then I'd be able to sell it at one point as well for even potentially higher. So that there's a lot of benefits into why I actually bought into this. But not only the 10%, it doesn't have just the 10%, it also gives you up to 30% for each sport that you match onto. Now, I'm not logged in currently, but one of the ones that I have is basically a basketball one. So let me just look at the basketball, and I'll explain how you get the money from the basketball one. So let me just click on the sports. So there is 840 people who have a basketball sports bot. Now, 30% of everything basketball makes this month from Rollbit will then go into a little pot, and then 30% of that, obviously, now once the 30% is in the pot, it's then divided by 840 people. So let's say, for example, maybe the NBA could have made it $1 million on Rollbit this month. Let's just say, for example, I don't know if that's anywhere close. Let's just say, for example, you divide that by obviously 30%, which would be 300,000. Then you do 300,000 divided by 840. You would be getting $357 on top of the 10% as well. This is just brilliant, just to build up your bag every month, and just have a decent little bit of income on the side as well, just for holding it. There's a lot of utilities to this one. I'm saying to buy in now because the utilities are coming out within a couple of days, and once they do come out, the price of sports bots are going to go up. Despite the price of the actual original ones at the moment, I believe, is just a bit higher. But at the moment, Roblox 0.62, the original minting price was around the same price, and there was a point when FaZe Banks originally shouted them out that they went up to, I believe, 3 ETH. Yeah, and they've stayed around 1 ETH to 0.5 ETH ever since. So yeah, definitely a good buy. Definitely get into it if you can do. And now we're going to move on to two very different styles of NFTs that are not crypto casino related. So if you don't really like the gambling side and everything else like that, then you can get into this one. So now we're going to look into different types of staking NFTs. Now, one of the NFTs that we're going to be looking at right now is on the Solana blockchain, and that's called Ubic. Now, you might have heard of this one, or you might not have. The way these staking NFTs work is very similar to the very popular Wolf game, which was on the Ethereum blockchain, and it's still going now. It's just sort of lost traction over the last couple of months. There was a point where it was like booming and everyone was really jumping into it. There's a lot of derivatives that have come across after the success of Wolf game. Now, this one is basically you mine and mint a sheep. Now, these sheeps are called Ubic. You can see the sheeps here, or sheep. I keep saying sheeps. That is not the correct English. So, yeah, you can basically stake these NFTs, and when you stake these NFTs, you earn a certain amount of tokens. So yeah, let me just show you these tokens that you can actually create and earn from this. So as you can see, once you collect your wallets, you will get dollar net, so net tokens essentially. And essentially, what you do is you stake your sheep, and then you get a certain amount of income in return. Now, with the actual tokens that you receive, you can then use that to upgrade your NFT in return of earning more tokens over time. So this essentially, when people earn the cash, when they earn the crypto from just holding this NFT and staking it, they will then use some of that money to buy back in. So this creates an in-game economy. Now, if there wasn't that there, the staking feature wouldn't work as well, and the price of the token would drop, because of the fact that once they pay out the staking, once they pay out the actual money for it, people would not use the money and reinvest it back into the economy. They'll be taking it out straight away, and this will crash the price of the token. Now, this sort of main model has been used for a lot of different NFTs, and especially on the Solana blockchain at the moment, and a lot of the NFTs that are really doing well are on Solana, use this sort of staking feature. Now, you can go ahead and look at Ubic itself. Go ahead and look at Ubic itself. The website is bar.is, which is a brilliant domain, by the way, I've got to admit. And then, as you can see here, there's different things that we can look at as well. So we've got the She paper, which is, I believe, quite funny, and we'll just read some of it. So, Ubic is the first entirely Web3 game on the Solana blockchain. All major in-game interactions will occur using smart contracts. The first version of the game, Ubic Under the Dome, revolves around the core gameplay features of a classic RPG: character, equipment, tactics, companions, and leveling. These features fit broadly under the category of character building. Now, yeah, this sort of where you earn the tokens and reinvest it back in to sort of earn more tokens and get more rewards. It's very similar to all these different RPGs like RuneScape and everything else like that. And this is where you can see the model has come from, especially in this Web3 space now, because people were addicted to that back in the day to be able to get more in-game coins. Now, to be able to use these in-game coins, actually sell them for real money or for real crypto, is a next level up. And I see, obviously, once more games get involved into this and start really doubling down and really developing hard into this. I can see in the next couple of years this being an amazing space for a lot of people to jump into. Now it's just seeing over these next couple of years the ones that will work and the ones that will stand out. This one, I believe, being one of the first, might be the one that stands out. The reason being as well is because it's planning on doing different expansions. So I'll just basically read what they've said here. With characters building at its core, Ubic Under the Dome will gradually introduce players to dungeons, world bosses, and idle farming. In 2 future expansions, Ubic Over the Sea and Ubic War of the Kingdoms, players will unlock turn-based combat, arena PvP, territorial quests, resource gathering, crafting, pets, and other adventures yet to be revealed. So obviously they're really developing on this, planning to create more gameplay for people. The basic mode of combat is a dungeon. Each dungeon has a unique challenge, duration, and difficulty. The success or failure of a dungeon challenge depends on whether a player can defeat the final boss. So essentially, you've got to upgrade your NFT. Then you go to the dungeon. You fight this boss for a certain amount of tokens, and either you're gonna get, depending on how well you build your character, the dungeon system will yield up to 100 to 150% more rewards than idle farming. So there's a risk that you could lose some of your money for the chance to beat a final boss, and the more you upgrade your character, the more likely you are to be able to beat it. And once the gameplay features come into it, and obviously there is this game aspect to it, but once you be able to graphically see and graphically play this, I believe it will take this space to another level. Now we're going to get into the next one, which is another Solana based NFT and another staking one. Now I think this one's probably one of the best ones for paying out at the moment. It's called Generous Robots DAO. Now Generous Robots DAO is a collection of 5,555 randomly generated robots on Solana. 70% of mint sales and royalties will go directly to the community-led DAO fund. So obviously the community is completely behind the massive fund that this has. Now they've got a massive funding behind them just for them to be able to pay out for the staking features, and obviously, and then having the elements to be able to just decide whether to invest in, decide where the project is actually going, is really creating a great community behind this. And that's what you're looking for as well when looking into these staking projects, is you want to see the great communities behind it, and if the community is standing on great foundations, if that makes sense. So I'll quickly show you what you earn. So let's look at the tokenomics. I think it's actually on the homepage if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so here's the staking rewards. So a generous robot right now, let's just check the quick price of the generous robot. So generous robot collections, they've got different collections. So the average floor price at the moment is 17 sol, which is a decent amount of sol, a really high amount. And this project is really doing well. It's increased over time. So essentially what this does is it pays out $2.36 at the moment. Let's just look at the last 30 days. So the price has stayed around $2 to $1.50. And essentially, if we look at what we'd be doing, if we had one generous robot and we decided to stake it for 60 days, you would earn 7 gear tokens per day. And if you have the space robots as well, then I think this is I think the space robots are basically a multiplier. So if you have a space robot as well as a generous robot, then you can multiply the amount that you're making. So if you have a space robot as well, then you'd be timesing your 7 per day by 2, and you'd be making 14 per day. And it's different for each rarity. If you get a common one, then it's 14. If you get a rare one, then it's 20. If you get an epic, then it's 30. If you get a legendary, then it's 80 a day. If you manage to get 80 a day, that would be, if we just look at it real quick, 80 a day would be $188 per day just for one, which is unreal. it is unreal. And here's sort of how they do it. So you basically burn gear, give gear out, the floor price goes up, the volume traded then goes up, and the royalties then go up. Then people pay more IDO tokens purchase, people buy more of that, there's higher IDO profits, and then they basically burn more gear, which is essentially going to is it yet? So you've got the decay coefficient. Once you burn the gear is going to go up in price, and as you can see, obviously it's been a bit sporadic, but recently it shot up from $1.77 a couple of days ago to $2.38, $2.74, and it sold off to $2.35. You can see the getting in early to this space is going to give you a lot of revenue and a lot of bonuses, especially if you get in from one at the start. Definitely look at the Solana blockchain and look for more staking opportunities on the Solana blockchain. These are just current ones that are actually working. There is obviously a lot that are coming out at the moment, a lot of staking ones that are coming out, but definitely look into it, do your own research into a lot of them. Let me know if there's a video you want me to do where I'm looking at the best up-and-coming staking projects, and you want to find the ones where you can get into early to make as much revenue as possible, then let me know by leaving a like and commenting on this video. Please subscribe for more videos every single week, and thank you very much for watching again. I'll see you later.